All right. So, how are you folks? How have you been over the break?
Yeah, it's probably good that we had a break because we discovered squirrels had eaten our internet lines outside, and so our internet was spotty for about a month, and now we got it all replaced and we're back.
Wow, nice. I mean, that's not nice, but
Not
yeah,
not nice while
just
it
the
was
timing.
happening, but like those darn squirrels.
Stupid squirrels. Dang it. My October was good. I kicked off a 2-month series of Last Fleet, which has been surprisingly gripping. The players are having a great time, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm also have started reading the September release of the updates to Apocalypse World Burned Over. Have you taken a
Uh,
look at those, Mad J?
I scanned through those. I've been meaning to get back to them. There's some things that caught my eye.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's as if I made a bulleted list on a Slack somewhere and someone took those notes and fixed those things. I'm quite happy with what I'm reading of it so far. That is a game I put on the calendar to run for the Gauntlet in January.
Nice.
It's set in Star Wars because
That's what you do,
that's a thing I do.
and you do that pretty well. I like it. So,
Thanks.
what about you, Jeremiah? We're talking about the break in October and what we've been up to. Daphne has squirrels.
Oh yeah. Man, I feel like I almost need to pull up my Google Calendar. I don't know. I mean, had a good Halloween. Hung out with some friends. That was fun. For anybody that's known me long enough, know that me and my partner have a tradition of gender bending couples costumes every Halloween. So we were Wanda and Vision this year. That was a lot of fun.
I saw those pictures. That was fantastic.
I was really happy with how those turned out. It might be
They
one of
look
my favorite
great.
costumes that we've done. All the crafting was done by Amy. She did a great job with that. That turned out really well.
Nice.
Yeah. Other than that, it was relatively uneventful. Went
Very
to
cool.
that like spooky pop-up bar one night. They had like all these like Halloween themed drinks, like a blood bag that's like in a blood bag, and you just
That is awesome.
yeah. And this month they're going to be Lord of the Rings themed, so I'm gonna try to make it there one weekend this month just to go check it out. So that'll be fun.
Nice. October was pretty busy for me in real life, adulting stuff. So, and then my kids back in school, so there's a lot of school activity stuff that I didn't have to do last year. So, but that's behind us. It's November, someone said earlier.
That's right.
All right. So this Elf in Chains. Let's talk about this.
If Nindor goes charging in, I'm right behind him. I got your back.
I got your back.
I need to understand what has happened here. Farron, Daphne, will you come with me?
Absolutely.
Of course. Should I put my eyeliner back on?
That's quite all right, but thank you.
Okay.
And I am using my spear like it's a walking stick, so it doesn't look like I'm rolling up on somebody with a spear, but I do have a spear. What has happened here?
Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting. So if I'm hesitating, it's you already had a disastrous conversation with Arena, right?
Absolutely.
You brought this matter to her, right? And it's also warden business. It's like me rolling up on a a police event, and I'm like, "Hey, officer, what's happening? What's going on?" Right? That's what I feel like we're doing here, right? And I think she turns with that notion that she's doing her job, and you're like, "What's going on?" Right? But they don't get a whole lot of elves here, right? And she said this, and they have an elf in chains, and you're an elf, so I think she has some realization, and I think you see all that play across her face. And then she says, "There's a matter of theft. I will make sure that no harm comes to him, but I can't set him free right now until we solve this matter."
And in Elvish, I will ask him, I am Nindor. What is your name?
Hang on a second here. I'm playing the screen game. All right, there we go. He says he is Willow, but that's not a real elf name. But he replies back in elf that you could call me Willow.
His accent is natural.
Yes, it is elf. And he says, "I am from the Wandering Companies," which is an elven thing. A bunch of elves that wander around aimlessly.
Did you steal? That is what they've accused you of doing.
I shot a stag. It was in the wild. I was going to eat it. I wasn't going to sell it. It was a wild stag.
I understand. I shift to common. This elf hunted a stag in nearby lands to eat?
And one of the men said, "Yeah, on my property. He killed my stag."
You lay claim to a stag?
It was on my property. It's my stag. It was my right to kill it or not kill it. And I think,
yeah.
Go ahead.
It's obvious Nindor's like, that is the stupidest concept I've ever heard of.
That's some dumb human stuff. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, that's...
And I think Arena, right, it's on her face, and her eyes kind of roll, and she says, "This is in Chetwood, which is kind of north of here, and by Archet Law, which is where this took place, the elf committed a crime by killing that stag on Baron's property."
What is the punishment for this offense?
Baron, the guy who says it's his property, he says, "I want to see him hang."
That will not happen.
And Arena says, "Nobody's hanging. Nobody's going to die. We'll take this matter to the Reeve in the morning, and the Reeve will decide what the punishment is."
I think Daphne steps forward and she puts a hand on, is Baron his name?
The man, yes.
Puts a hand on his shoulder and she's like, "You must not be a very good hunter. Why else would you be so upset? Or are you a good hunter and you have no reason to be upset?"
I think his tone changes when he's talking to Daphne and not about the elf. And he says, "It's That's principle. You just don't walk on another man's property and shoot animals.
So you are a bad hunter.
I don't know if I could have killed that stag or not, but no one else should be doing it on my property.
I mean, I can teach you if you want to learn. I'm pretty good with the bow and arrow.
She is, in fact, a very good shot. If you want another stag, that can be arranged. This is foolish.
What if you shared the kill?
And then Baron.
As a payment, you get half the meat for the privilege of using your land.
And I think Baron, right, he becomes stiff again, right, and cantankerous. And he says, or we could just let the Reeve decide in the morning. And Arena says the stag is still on Baron's land, so he has the stag.
So it sounds like Baron's got a free stag's worth of meat. Why are you even upset?
Because some man killed a stag on my lands.
So
he looks at Arena. Arena looks at the three of you, and she says, "What do you look? I'll make sure he's fine tonight, right? I will stay there myself." And then I think she's talking directly to Nindor. The Reeve, it's up to him to decide in the morning. And if you want to talk to the Reeve in the morning, I've got nothing to do with that. That's between you and the Reeve. I will make sure no harm comes to your friend. She didn't catch. He never told her. She doesn't know his name. So no harm will come to your friend tonight. He'll be under my care, and the chief warden, because I called him in too. I don't want any trouble. Nobody's hanging, right? Nobody's dying. Nobody dies over killing an animal or stealing an animal. That doesn't happen here. And then Baron goes, but it should.
Arena, Derwent, thank you for your offer of service. I will trust you and your word.
So you guys are going to let her take him back to the warden's the warden's barracks and hold him for the night.
I'm deferring to Nindor 100%.
In Elvish, I say to Willow, they will detain you for the evening and speak with an arbiter or judge. I will stand by your side and not allow any harm to come to you.
And then I think he becomes indignant a little bit, right? And he says, an arbiter of justice of law for who? Men are going to judge me?
They are going to judge your actions.
Men?
You are in the lands of men.
And you're okay with this?
No. Do you wish for me to kill everyone here? I'm sorry for the inconvenience. We must let this play out. I will not allow any harm to come to you.
He's indignant. He doesn't like any of this, but
That's fine.
he's not like, let's kill them all.
I wouldn't either.
Other wardens come over. They take possession of Willow, and they run off Baron and his friend, right? They're like, this is the end of the line for you, right? And they take the elf back to the warden's barracks. I think Baron and his buddy, right? They make their way over to the Prancing Pony because it's drinking time, right?
When Daphne sees them heading to the Prancing Pony, she will chase after them and grab his shoulder, like rather forcefully for Daphne, especially, and be like, if you actually cared about that stag, you would be out there field dressing it so the meat doesn't go bad. But clearly you don't care.
That's what I got sons for. They're doing that.
So you don't hunt, you don't dress, you just get upset about things.
I fight pretty good.
We'll find out. I turn and I walk away. And Daphne is going to go back to Nendor and Farron and be like, we should go check in on the stag itself. I think I can befriend his sons. They won't mind about all of this, and then this will all go away.
And Nendor reaches up and wipes away just a little bit of mud from Daphne's cheek that she missed. Says, "That sounds like an excellent idea, Daphne. Thank you for your offer to help."
That's what friends are for. Then she pulls out her skinning knife and she's like, let's go.
Let's go. We're going to the Baron house?
I think we are.
Nice. I like it. What's the plan? The Baron house is kind of like a ranch, right? It's north of the Prancing Pony, maybe at the base of where things become hilly in Bree. So he's got enough room to have some animals, right? Some vegetables, some garden. Maybe he has some crops there. Nothing expansive, right? It's maybe like a self-sustaining household. Maybe he makes enough to take to market, that kind of thing. I don't know anything about skinning animals. My assumption is it takes place outside, right? Because it might be messy. And so I think he's got 3 sons, and they're out there working the stag. Maybe close to a barn or a tool shed. I'm riffing here. If you folks know, jump in, save me, help me.
I mean, realistically, you'd probably string it up under a tree so you could get it vertical.
All right, cool. I like that. Yes, I've seen this.
I grew up in Arkansas. I've seen a couple dressed deer.
So I think that's what they're doing. I think they have it strung up, right? You've got enough space. You tell me where you come in at. But I think they're busy doing this work. If I got to lay ages, I think the oldest might be 16, 17. Maybe the other one behind him is maybe a year, right? So let's say 17 and then 16. And then maybe the youngest is 8, right?
Before we get there, like as we're just kind of traveling, and I'm letting my wheels turn a little bit, somebody like Baron probably doesn't have a lot of friends, and he strikes me as the sort of person that would have border disputes with his neighbors. So I'm wondering if there's not a way to like wedge into that sort of thing. Was it really on Baron's land? Maybe it was on his neighbors because they're always fighting over this patch and whose is whose, just to like gum up the proceedings tomorrow and take away some of Baron's leverage, I guess. So it might be a good idea for somebody, probably not this guy, to talk to a neighbor that might provide some, like, maybe there's something there, maybe there's not, but that was just something that occurred to me. I can imagine him getting very indignant over like inches of border demarcation.
Yeah, I like that.
That's an excellent idea. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I feel like if we see a neighbor's house kind of on the way, we're coming in, we might tap on the door and say hello.
I like that. And there are, right? They're not right on top of each other. I think you have maybe a handful of ranch-style houses in the area, and you stop at what might be his closest neighbor. And they actually, it's a woman that opens the door, right? And partly once she gets a load of the three of you out there, and she says, "Evening."
Hello, my name is Daphne. I am here representing, I forget what their names are. I have some friends who do estate sales, and as you prepare for your end of life, I feel it's important for us to know exactly where your land ends and does not, so we can make sure your family is cared for when you're gone. Would you mind walking me around the edge of your property?
Wow, that's crazy. I like it.
That is not where I thought it was going, and I love it. This is amazing.
Oh yes, Dond and Dabber, estate sale experts.
Yes. I think I'm gonna need a persuade test for her to go along with this, right?
Let's do that. Persuade. Ooh. Okay. We'll see how this goes.
Nice.
Ooh. Got a 19. With a 6. I don't know if that makes a difference in this case, but it's there.
Nice. I think she closes the door, right? And that is to swap her shoes, right? She's got her house shoes on, and she's putting her outdoor shoes on. And then maybe she's got like a little walking stick, and she comes on out, right? And she says, "Okay, all right." She steps down off of the porch, and she walks you. Maybe there's like a little greenery area before you come up onto the porch area, but you can see most of her front area and all of Baron's property, right? And she says, if you look at this rock here, right, just past my barn, right, from that rock, right, a straight line on down to that tree right there, right, she points out, everything on this side is mine. And then Baron is on that side. And then she points out the hills, who are kind of at an angle to her, and there's a little creek there, and she says everything on that side of the creek is them, everything on this side is me. And then we go out to the road that you just came up on. Does that help you?
Do you ever have any disagreements on your property line with, what was his name, Baron?
I think she spits at that point on the ground, but I don't like to say anything ill of people. They're just difficult people.
Well, I understand why you would maybe have some tension around land as beautiful and wonderful as this. Does he draw his straight line in a different way than you do?
I'm retroactively doing a thing here. I'm gonna take your persuade roll. You had a extra 6 there?
Yes, I had a 6
right.
on my 6.
Nice. I feel like you folks are about to ask her to do something. And I think I'm going to treat that like your introduction, because it was kind of an introduction, right? And so that buys you an extra test if we're doing council, and I think that's where we're headed. Does that make sense? Rather than say, let's do council and then have you do the introduction again. Who cares how he draws his line? Right? He could get hit by lightning for all I care. That's how Bree draws the line. That's the line. Is that useful? Does that help you?
Well, I'm more thinking, legally, how this might. We at Dond and Dauber Estates see many things go to court. And I just want to make sure that you and your family are not put in that difficult situation when you're already dealing with such a difficult time of life. So if you have, official drawings or paperwork or anything that we could just keep on file in case we need it at any point down the road, that would be most helpful. I would hate for your family to lose even an inch of the property that you have maintained so well.
This woman is confounded, right? She has no idea what's going on, right? She's confounded, right? I think Eric, her husband, comes to the door, and he's looking for a while, right? And then he finally cracks it. He goes, "Honey, is everything all right? Should I take this pie out?" I'm not sure what. So let's talk about that. What do we want from Anne?
It feels like we're either looking for a loophole about any disputes about what's Baron's land versus her land,
Right.
Or if she would be a character witness that Baron is an unreasonable and bad neighbor. It feels like that's where Daphne was picking. Is that what you're after?
Yeah, basically any kind of like hard evidence or the character witness thing on our behalf would work too.
Okay. Is it fair to say part of what you're asking might be asking her to lie?
No, I mean, I don't think that's where we're looking for facts. Truth.
Gotcha. And I'm trying to be clear for me so I understand. All right, cool. So I think what you're asking for is reasonable. So I think your resistance is 3, but you have 4 tests instead of 3 because you have that extra success. And if it fails, it's not disastrous because your persuade, your intro roll was good. So I think I need a test right now. It feels like persuade, as you're asking for, do you have any documentation? Is there, right, what kind of proof that you have that the line is the line? I can be convinced of something different, but it sounds like persuade right now.
That works for me.
Okay.
Ooh, close. 17 to my 17.
That is close. Yes, nice. So that's 1 of 3, and you guys got 3 tests left. She says she shoos her husband off, right? Take the pie out. Don't let it burn. Everything's fine, right? And so he ducks back in, and she says, everybody in Bree knows that that's the line, right? I don't understand. The Reeve can tell you that. They can look it up, right? It's, that's how it is. It's been that way for generations. These are the lines.
Lines can move.
That rock hasn't moved since I was a kid.
Are you sure?
And that creek has been there. That creek isn't going anywhere.
Creeks meander. They dig new paths.
If the creek moves, what's on this side is mine. What's over there belongs to the hills. Same thing with the rock and the tree. And but they haven't moved. That's why we picked those landmarks. Now, if somebody cuts that tree down, maybe that's different. But that tree's been there. The folks at the Reeve, they'll tell you that's how it is. That's what it is. What's Barron trying to do?
Hmm. Oh, he's all up in arms because someone managed to kill a stag that he couldn't on his own land. He's got his boys dressing it, but he says they done.
Yeah.
He says they stole from him. I don't know what he thinks they stole.
Yeah.
He's got the
I
stag.
saw that elf kill that stag.
You sure it was Barron's land?
The stag was on Barron's land for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Darn.
But the elf, I mean, it moved. The elf was chasing it, right? It was on my land. It was on the hills. I'm not sure where they came from, but they were all in motion. If
So
the elf,
he started
waited-
hunting it elsewhere.
yeah, no, it wasn't like the stag was hanging out on Barron's land. They were all in motion, and that's where it died. That's where it got killed on Barron's land. Yeah, he ain't no hunter.
You do not profess to be one. He asked for Elf to be hung.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Are you saying you agree?
Oh, that Baron's business, no business of mine.
Are you saying he's known to have problems with elves or non-humans?
Right. I think she is refusing to get in the middle of this. You might have to roll some dice. I like dice. But her stand is, oh, that sounds like that's all Baron's business, and I don't want to be putting his dirty laundry out there. That's that's his personal stuff. That's not my story to tell. That's her answer.
I'm gonna kind of get in her face a little bit and say, so you're willing to stand by while some innocent elf is hung until he is dead because he killed a stag. 20 feet the other way would have been somebody else's land, but that's none of your business? I don't know how tall this woman is. I don't know if I'm looking up at her.
No, you are looking up at her. I think she's like 5'10", right?
Oh well, yeah, I'm definitely shorter than that.
Oh yeah. I'm only 5'9".
I'm shooting to roll awe here. I hope.
Yes.
No, I'm just gonna go for it. See what happens.
That's what I would do.
Ha! Look at that. Nailed it.
You did. That's fantastic.
Oh wait. 11 counts as
11?
0, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it does. It counts as 0. I just saw that. Excuse me. Yeah, it counts as 0.
I could spend a hope to re-roll it because of our patron, but I would need to get a 10 or a 12 to succeed.
Yes.
I don't know if that's worth it. That's such a low chance. I think I'll just have to take the I feel like maybe this farm lady's dealt with worse than a set dwarf before.
Nice. That's 2 out of 4, and we only have 1 success so far, right?
Yep. So we need 2 more successes on 2 more rolls.
Mm-hmm. I think she kind of bends down a little bit, so she's looking at you eye to eye. She kind of stoops down. That's the word. So she's looking at Farron kind of eye to eye in your face when you're getting in her face, and she says, "I ain't got nothing against dwarves or elves or the innocent. They're not going to hang that elf. That's not what we do. But Baron and his family, right? Yeah, she's Baron and his family. They have trouble with elves, so I'm not surprised that that's what he wants." It's not about the stag.
Was he seen shooting that stag?
The elf?
Yeah.
So Anne says she saw the elf kill the stag.
Okay. I was wondering if we could try to make the case that no, it wasn't him. It was Daphne.
It was Daphne. I killed it.
It was me. It wasn't him. Okay. Well, I probably back off a little because I was going for the gambit of knowing that they're not going to hang him. I was just trying to get her riled up, and that didn't work.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Now she's cool, right? And I think she's in for the gossip because I think we're trading information here. You're getting some stuff from her, and in this conversation, she's learning more about what happened with this elf and the stag and Baron, right? So I think she's learning some stuff too. We got 2 checks left, and we're down 2 successes.
Oof. Indor will finally step forward. This elf was a member of the Wandering Companies. He is one of my people, and though there are few of us left, we have seen so very much. He calls himself Willow, which is not an elvish name. Many generations from now, how will he speak of the people of this place? How will he remember you and your children if you do not help us? Speak out against Baron. I know this is your neighbor, and you are inviting more discomfort for your relationship. The more the people allow Baron to act in this way, the more he will take and take from you.
Wow. That's
That was
fantastic,
good
man.
stuff.
That was good stuff.
Thanks. I don't know where I was going for the role, but it just felt like an indoor thing to say. So there you
Right.
go.
Right.
I don't know if the One Ring does bonus dice for
It
cool
does.
stuff
That
that
was-
just happened.
Yes,
because
it
that seems
does,
like
and that is bonus dice worthy.
yeah.
Cool.
So man, that's hard. Persuade is the obvious one, right?
It is. I was also with the whole like many generations from now and our people I was angling towards awe, but then as I kept going, it kind of tailed off from awe and more in a persuade. So I could go either way.
In Harden,
Please no.
Please no, right?
It's so bad and heartening.
No, it's all right. I'm listening to what you said and trying to match it up with a skill, right?
Aw's not that bad because it does say something about conveying a powerful message using few words, and like that's not far off.
Yeah, I was trying to get there, but yeah, if that's what it says, then we can make all work. That seems like that fits then. Yeah, here we go.
All right, you said a bonus D6 because
Yeah, and yes.
Thank you. I will definitely take it.
I would say take 2 because that was moving, man.
Well, thank you.
I was ready to pick up arms.
Oh,
we'll follow Nindor into battle.
Let's see if the dice agree with us here. Ooh, come on, dice, please.
Nice.
That appears to be
with 2 6s.
With 2 6s. Yeah. Yes, that seals the deal.
Wow. That's nice. Thank you, dice.
Yes. So I think she says, I won't lie for you. And I don't know how much help I can be. But if it's useful, I can speak to what the elf did that day. And the elf and the stag were in motion. They were moving through at least 3 people's lands when the elf finally felled the stag. The whole thing didn't play out on Baron's land. It just died there.
Thank you. And you said in your story that it traveled through your land. What would you think would be a fair compensation for that?
I wouldn't expect anything. As I see it, the elf was hunting the stag and went where the stag was going. If the stag was eating here and the elf came upon it and killed it, I might see that differently. But it was clearly tracking and hunting the stag from wherever they came from. And what I will say as the GM is, because you made the test and you guys succeeded here, I think that is the key, is that it didn't all begin and end on Baron's land. It was all in motion, right? And I think that is the key argument to free your elf with no penalty. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I think her, as a witness, right, she can deliver that story.
Sounds good.
Right.
Did I hear something about pie?
Nice. Yeah, and she, I think she smiled and she winks at you, right? Because you guys had that face-off kind of thing. And she says, "You sure did. You like pie?" And
does it look like I like pie?
Yeah, she kind of gestures back to the house and walks you back, holds the door, and she's offering, pie for dessert.
All right. Nothing like a good deep conversation followed by some fresh made pie.
Some fresh made pie.
Yeah.
I think we'll leave it there, right? Is that good?
I like that.
Right. I think that's a nice welcome back after the break.
And we might have another little local friend potentially.
Yes.
Since we know she kind of likes gossip, we might be able to hit her up again.
Yes, absolutely. Cool. Right. Then I think everything is everything. It's 3 skills, 3 adventure points. That feels weird to me every time we get to this spot for character advancement. And it's just, here you go. Take these points.
Yeah.
I'm used to other free league games where you're running through a checklist. Did you help your buddy? Did you see something new? Right. And you're picking up. Right. And so this seems weird to me. We will leave it there for tonight. let's do some outros and then we'll get out of here. We'll call it a night. Let's start with Rich Rogers.
I'm Rich Rogers. You can find me on Twitter at ORKLORD, and I run games for The Gauntlet and do a podcast called Plus One Forward. I'm almost done editing an episode on Armor Austere Advent. Armor Austere Advent, sorry, which will be coming out soon.
Nice. Jeremiah.
You can find me on most social medias, Jeremiah Fry or at Pseudo Idiot on Twitter. I don't do any fancy podcasting or anything, but and this is the only real game I'm in. But look me up, I guess.
This is the only game that matters, man. This is it.
Yeah,
right here.
It's Lord of the Rings or nothing.
Heidi.
Similar to Jeremiah, you can find me at Heidi Schlotman most everywhere. Don't have much else going on currently to share.
But this game right here.
But this game right here is the place to be.
I'm Matt J. I'm the host of the Diceology podcast. We're coming up on our 50th episode, and I don't know what I want to do with that yet. So you can find me on Twitter at MattJ0, and come see us next week because I think we're going to court. Good night.
Dun dun.
Dun dun. All right. I'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.